Hey, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. So the classic physique prejudging just wrapped up this morning. And honestly, it was kind of interesting because it looks like we might almost have the same results for the top 5 as last year. And if not exactly the same, pretty close to it. So in the first call out, you had the usual guys. You had Chris Bumstead, RAMON DINO, Terrence Ruffin, Urs Kausinski, Breon, and a new addition to that first call out this year, Michael the Bull, instead of Mike Sommerfeld, who was in there last year. Now, looking at the first call out, I thought it was pretty clear that, again, it's going to be between Chris Bumstead and RAMON DINO. Those two guys really stood out right away. Obviously, Chris being the champion, but I think RAMON, again, stood out as the second best guy here. But honestly, to me, even from this first call out, I thought Chris was the clear winner. I think he clearly stood out. Even with the weight increase, these other guys coming in bigger, to me, Chris, he still looked like the biggest guy on stage by far. But we'll get to that towards the end when we talk about the top 2 call out of just Chris and RAMON. So in this first call out, first it was CBUM and RAMON that really stood out. I thought Urs Kausinski looked incredible here. And I think Urs is going to solidify his place potentially in the top 3 again. Now, to me, honestly, Terrence looked a little bit off again. And it looked like he could be battling for that 3rd place spot. But to me, I thought Urs looked so incredible. I feel like Urs is going to be in the top 3. I mean, I think Urs really nailed it here. So they had done a second call-out for this first call-out grouping. And in that second call-out, of course, they had everybody except for Chris and RAMON. And in the center, they had Urs, Terrence, and Breon. Now, towards the outside of this call-out, they also had Wesley Vissers, Mike Summerfield, and Michael the Bull. So these placings are definitely for 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. So they're battling for like 6 placings here. Urs was pretty much in the center the entire time. And they were mostly moving close to Urs, Terrence, and Breon. So for a lot of it, it was Terrence next to Urs. And then towards the end of this call-out, they moved Breon to the center, moved Terrence out, and compared Breon with Urs. So it looks like they're comparing for 3rd place here. Because to me, like I said, Urs was the clear standout of this call-out, of this grouping. I think he really nailed his conditioning. He looked big here. And like I said, Terrence looked good here. He looked bigger, but I still felt like his conditioning was slightly off. And the fact that at one point they moved Breon to the center to compare to Urs, we could have the exact same placing this year as last year, at least for the top 4. I think Terrence might move up a spot or 2. But last year, Chris won, RAMON was in 2nd, Urs Kausinski in 3rd, Breon in 4th, Mike Summerfeld in 5th, Terrence in 6th. This year, it also looks like Urs Kausinski in 3rd. It also looks like potentially Breon could be in that 4th place spot, but I really think that's between him and Terrence. I think Urs is really the only solid one in this call-out as far as I really think he's the winner of this call-out. So I think he's going to be 3rd, and I think Breon and Terrence are really fighting for 4th. So Terrence would, I think, at worst, move up 1 placing into 5th, and at best here, I think we would see him in 4th. So moving up potentially 2 placings from last year. For whatever reason, to me, he looked a little bit soft. And again, the conditioning just looked a little bit off. And maybe that was a result of him coming in bigger. And again, you know, there could be still a chance of him placing top 3 because he was being compared a lot next to Urs. But to me, it looked like Urs had it. So let's get to your top 2 call out. Very reminiscent of last year. I felt like I was having deja vu watching this. Chris Bumstead and RAMON DINO. Now, the question is, did RAMON do enough to beat Chris this year? First of all, to me, Chris looks better than last year. His bicep isn't an issue, so his symmetry is a little bit better. He looked a little bit bigger than last year. Obviously, still really the biggest guy in the lineup. Conditioning was on point, of course. Really not surprised here. I think this is what we all expected to see from Chris. He brought a champion physique. Very difficult to beat, and I think honestly, I think he's the clear winner here. No injury in sight, symmetry back, nailed his conditioning, and bigger than RAMON. Now, RAMON to me looked improved from last year as well. He looked a little bit bigger this year. He looked a little bit more comparable to Chris in terms of size. But the question here is, did he do enough to beat Chris? Did he close the gap enough to win? And I think the answer to that question is no. I think it is closer this year. I think Ramon, like I said, he looks better. He looks closer to Chris in terms of size. But Chris is just the consummate champion. Everything about Chris to me, just every pose said that he's the winner of this show. But don't get me wrong. I think Ramon is the guy to push Chris. I think in this lineup right now, he is still the guy that's closest to Chris. And I think he's still the guy that's the most comparable. So I think this year he's pushing him even harder than last. And I think still of this lineup, when you're talking about Urs, when you're talking about Breon, when you're talking about Terrence, I think Ramon is the guy to do it. He is the best physique in this lineup besides Chris to push him. He's closer to his height. He's closer to his size. He's closer to his muscularity. I think that's why Ramon is going to be in this second place spot. So I think this is going to play out, like I said, very close to last year. I think Chris will be in first. I think Ramon will be in second. I really think Urs will be in third, but I think there's a chance Terrence could be there, but I'm going to say Urs. I'm going to say Terrence did enough to squeak into fourth, and then I'm going to say Breon in fifth, Michael DeBull in sixth. I'm going to say Wesley in seventh, and then in eighth place, I'm going to say Mike Sommerfeld. Overall, really impressed with these guys. I think the top three here really nailed it. Ramon, Urs, CBUM. They definitely did not disappoint their fans, but I still think Chris is far and away the champion. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What are your predictions here? Did Ramon do enough to take it? Is Chris Bumstead going to lose the title this year, or will he be picking up his fifth victory, even with this weight increase that allowed all his main competition a slight advantage? And if Chris does win, is this really slamming the door shut in their face that it doesn't matter what advantage they give you, I'm still the champ, and I'm very, very difficult to beat? Because that's the message that I think Chris was sending today, and I think that message will probably be delivered successfully. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Click that bell notification icon, and let me know your classic physique predictions down below. As always, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Nick Strength and Power, signing out. All right, guys, don't forget to click that like button and subscribe to this channel if you enjoy the content. Also, check out my Instagram at NickStrengthPower. My Facebook page, which is simply Nick Strength and Power. My secondary YouTube channel, Nick Strength and Vlogs, for vlogs and bonus content that you will not see on this channel. And consider subscribing to my third YouTube channel, Nick Strength and Pokemon, which is all things Pokemon and trading card games, completely unrelated to this channel. So if you're into that, give that one a look. And all links to merchandise and social media will be in the description box below. If you guys want a Nick Strength and Power t-shirt, that will be in the Shopify link below. Have a great day.